Do the pledge, please. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Reverend Lisa Mays, please.
Yes, let's bow our heads in prayer. Lord God, I lift up the board this evening. I ask, Lord God, that you shine the light of your countenance upon them and bless them with your favor as they seek to lead this community. I ask God for inspiration and for energy and commitment to blossom and to produce much fruit for the good of this community. I pray, Lord God, that all who are here tonight to participate would remember to seek integrity and equity and to speak well, to speak in uplifting ways, keeping in mind the common good of our community. We pray, God, that you would continue to help our leaders to provide safety and security and to enrich this community in ways that will bless those who belong to this community. And may we never forget those who feel like strangers. May this town be a welcoming and safe place, we pray. In Jesus' name, amen.
Amen. Thank you.
Thank you, Charlie.
Okay. Good evening, everyone. Thank you for coming out to our meeting. The first thing we're going to do is the abstracts. Everyone's had a chance to have a copy of them over the weekend and take a look. If there's any questions, please bring them up now. If not, I need a motion to pass it.
I move that we approve the abstracts as published.
Do I have a second on that, please?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? That would be carried. Okay, we're gonna go to the department heads first. John Moffett, you're the first in the barrel tonight.
Good job.
Hello, how's everybody?
Good.
Pretty good.
Good. I think I gave you one. Was that, Jody, I give you one? I did.
Why would you give me one?
As you can see, the wastewater plant, influent flows are up a little bit from last month, and leachate numbers are down as expected with this cold temperature. Sunrise Family Farm has given us 43,000 gallons. No issues at the plant other than we had a decant pump that was serviced for $2,500. One thing we do need approved and signed by the mayor is the extended coverage for the generator. It's in the budget for this year, $10,150, but the new price from them came in at $10,350, and that's a 3-year contract.
Motion.
Second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Pass.
Okay. And last is the budget for the DEP. We need to send their portion to them for approval. And their portion on our tentative budget to them is $1,051,530.51. We just need the approval to go ahead and forward that to the DEP for their approval.
Everyone's.
Percentage.
Okay.
Their percentage went down,
Yeah.
yeah, 9.8%.
Is that typical, John?
Oh, with the changes that we've made over at the plant, the biggest change on your end was chemical. We did some changing on that. That's why yours bumped up 0.3%, 0.4%. Yeah. There was a chemical issue that we had over the last couple of years that wasn't getting caught in the budget. We caught it this year and made corrections. So.
Yeah, we have a meeting today, of John and Jim Swazo and Dave Oman and Roger and Jody and myself, and we went over the whole budget. Dave Reeves was there, of course, that's his committee. Didn't mean to leave you out there. I saw you stuck your head out there, I wasn't gonna forget you. And And we went over the whole budget, this item, line by line, everything was worked out, so it looks pretty good.
Yeah.
So, you made the motion?
I made the motion.
Need a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried.
Okay.
Make it
That's-
sound like it was such an easy process, didn't it?
Yeah, it was
Yeah.
painless. Nobody lost sleep. So, yeah, whenever you want to sign it, and I
you
can get it back to
right
them,
now.
yeah, just, okay.
Can you sign on the authorized deal or no?
You can if you'd like to.
I'll just send you that.
Second.
Yep.
It's March, and it's 2015.
Yep. Yep. Got it. Thinking-
Thank you very much. That's
You
it.
didn't realize how hard that would be.
Thanks, John.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
Yep.
Okay, Steve, Dutcher?
I'll get my phone call.
The phone started doing stuff, and I don't know why.
Hey, Steve.
How you doing? All right, everybody's got my report.
Yes, thank you.
Snow's been the topic of the month for me.
Is that why these inspections have been rescheduled?
Yeah, yeah. Between that, and I've had a couple of complaints that took up my time. Again, wintertime taking its toll
Yeah.
on some properties and rental properties that I had to deal with, so. Yeah, as far as kind of my normal code stuff, it's a little bit slow this month. I have been working on the coldest of days, when I can, I've been working on some more of the community rating system stuff. And at this point, I'm ready to, I've got to get with our web guy and get a website or a portion of our website up and running as far as flood information goes. I've been kind of using the town website as a little bit of a guinea pig, because I'm doing both of them at the same time, and I have easier access to set up the town website, so I've been using them, kind of configuring, dredging up information that I want to get on there.
Will they be literally identical except for the
I,
obvious?
yeah, I don't know that, you know, it only stands to reason I'm kind of masterminding both of them, so they'll both be quite similar. I am gonna get a section, it's not required by CRS, but I'm gonna use this as an opportunity to get a lot of the before and after pictures of the various flood mitigation projects that have gone on in the town and in the village. I'll get them on their respective websites. There might be some cross-sharing there, just so that the information is available, because obviously the stuff that takes place in the town has a direct impact on us.
Sure.
I've gotten information on 6 sites, and it's rudimentary information. It's a picture of before, you know, this is what it looked like, picture after, when it was completed, so that make people aware of you know, exactly what's going on here.
Is it like a read-only thing? Will it be a read-only thing, Steve, or is it gonna be like a
There's gonna be
question
some, no, there's gonna be some interactive stuff. There's a lot of links that you can click on.
Oh,
There's
good.
gonna be, one of the sites that I like is the National Weather Service link that, well, they use the USGS gauge data, the real-time data from our gauge down there, so that people have a quick access to that, so you can just click on it. And the National Weather Service site is nice because it gives you a little bit of historical data for the river and for that particular gauge site. So, you know, people can see what the gauge read in '06 when we had the flood and things of that sort, and it's right
When they
there.
refunded those, do you know how long the refunding is for?
I do not know off the top of my head. I know they defunded the Eastbrook one.
Well, they did, okay.
Yes.
I thought they had refunded all of them.
No, they defunded Eastbrook, which is a little bit crippling for those in the area that have to predict what the flows are gonna be. You know, I know Graydon relied on that gauge heavily when,
For sure.
you know, as far as Eastbrook goes. And he and I've had some discussions about, you know, what are there some other sources out there? What's the cost? You know, if we wanted to go stick a gauge in there, and he's got a lot of that information. I won't say it's cost prohibitive, but it's costly to get a gauge in there. And that's stuff that, you know, I hope that we can work on in the future, get that gauge back up and running.
Is it there but not funded, or there's a pull?
I believe they pull it out completely.
Makes sense.
Yeah. So that's the kind of information that's going to be on the website, and I've gotten kind of the majority of the needed items on the town website. I got a couple other things to do on there, and then it's basically kind of cut and paste into our village website. We'll essentially make a clone of it on the village website, and that information will be up there. So and that'll be a bunch more points for us for CRS, and it's a good resource. You know, this computer age, you know,
Right.
nice cold winter day, people can sit there and find information and all that kind of stuff. So that's some of the stuff that I've been working on. I knew this was coming. April is, speaking of floods and whatnot, April is usually the month that we do the New York State Floodplain Stormwater Manager Conference. This year it's held in Syracuse. I've taken a look at it. It's April 27, 28, and 29. In order for me to get my credits that I need for this year, I'd probably need to go 2 days.
Is there a point to going 3 days?
Um,
Versus what you need to for your point.
Right, well, the maximum, as far as credit hours go, the max that I can get in 1 year, or they'll give me credit for, is 12. And that's basically 2 days worth of training, so there's no sense in going to all three.
I guess we were kind of asking though, would there be additional information on that third day? That would
There would be,
valuable?
well, it's actually the first day that, they usually have a floodplain manager's review. It's basically a prep course for those that are gonna take the exam, and they offer the exam on the third day for those people who need to take it. So, it wouldn't be a complete waste of time if I went on the first day, but there would be a lot of the rudimentary information gone over that I really don't need to go over.
How's the food?
Well, I don't know. It changes every year. This year it's at I think the Hilton in Syracuse. So I'll find out.
Is that the Octagon one? There's one downtown, it's
Yeah.
an Octagon.
Yeah, I don't know.
Is there a cost involved?
There is a cost involved. Registration for the actual classes that I would be going to is $225. There's a $10, $225. There's a $10 discount for early registration before April 10th, I think it is. And $96 for room for one night. That brings our total to $311 with the discount. And of course, the village would be responsible for half of that, $155.50.
How do you get up there? Would you get a car or mileage?
I would just take the truck, take my coach truck. So, and we would split, obviously, between town and village. Village pays on the way up, town pays on the way back. So.
What do you say, who has more mileage?
Yeah.
I'm just gonna get around.
Take the scenic route on there.
Yeah.
Are you
I
saying
make
that
the
the village is
motion.
paying to get rid of you and the town wants you back?
Yeah, something, whatever.
I'll make a motion that we allow Steve to go.
I'll second the motion.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
Okay.
That would be carried.
Thank you. And speaking of the website, our village website right now does have the draft local flood hazard analysis on it and available for the public. They can just go on there and follow the instructions. There's a login and password. The login is Walton, password is LFA. And it takes you to actually the contractor site where you can read through that.
It also has the briefing that they gave at the public hearing last month, which I found, those that couldn't make that, it's a good opportunity to see at executive level what they were talking about.
Right, yep, there's good information there, and that should be, I think we're past our comment date on that LFA, so that should become final here soon.
Okay.
So, and I think that's all I got for tonight.
If no other questions for Steve, thank you. Thanks, Steve.
Yep.
Chief is unable to make it tonight, so next would be Roger.
Hi, Roger.
It's been a while since I've been in the hot seat.
This kind of weather, I bet you like it a little bit.
Everybody got their monthly report, I hope.
Yes, thank you.
It doesn't look like much, but then a few little items have kept us pretty busy
I
lately.
would think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
See the
Um,
trucks going all the time.
Yeah, between the snow.
Feel bad
and-
for you guys in this weather. But
First
thank you
line.
to you and the crew.
Now
Roads
the-
have been
Line
good.
through,
and-
you know.
Hmm?
Now the,
Todd Ford Water Services.
then we had Friday afternoon, we had Friday early, we had 2 to go. And then I shouldn't have wrote that because then
I'm
it
just-
exploded.
I'm just picking.
So, yeah, pretty busy with thawing waters out and, actually we're in the process of trying to build another thawing machine. We're getting some parts and pieces together. If it works, hopefully we'll get another one up and running.
Was you able to get the other one up and running?
It was running for a short period of time today, but it started losing pressure again, so.
Is that the new one?
Yeah, it was one about almost a year ago, yeah. We've put it through quite a bit of stress lately.
Yeah, we've been using it a long
So,
time.
How expensive was that? That wasn't real expensive, was it?
Well, it depends on which way you look at it. I
Well,
guess.
my point is, if we got people in the village that are without water because the pipes are frozen, and it's our responsibility, and if the machine wasn't that expensive, I guess I'd be in favor of buying a second machine. Either we've got one as a backup when one will do, or if we got a lot of people
We
down,
can send 2 crews out.
Yeah, because here's my issue, if I come back to you at some point in time and ask permission to get another one, I'd really like to get a little bit better grade of the machine, a little bit more industrial. And what we're trying to do right now is to make shift put one together. And if all the parts and pieces get here, and if it works, hopefully we'll have one up and running sometime here in the next day or 2.
Last year
We're
when we
hoping.
ordered that, it took like 6 months to get here
Correct.
anyway,
Yeah.
so it's not like something that's gonna come tomorrow.
Yeah,
Huh,
so.
and I know I'm sitting here and there's no budget figures in front of us, so I can talk pretty freely, but if it's, and I know it's your money, Jody, but I'm not against having 2 of those things on hand,
Absolutely.
because you start talking to people, you're out of water this time of year, you're out of luck,
Yeah.
and if it
I mean-
takes 2 of those machines, I mean, this year's a little unprecedented, or at least
Right.
unusual, but.
Last year, we ended up with 2 frozen services. This year, I think we're approaching 20, so.
Wow.
Frost, I've never seen it this deep.
Really?
The guys are really having a hard time digging down through the frost.
And
So-
and we're lucky that it was good thinking on your part to get this last year.
Well, we were a
Because
little
many
bit,
places don't even have anything like this.
Right.
We're unique in that, and that's great. So,
most people has never heard of the thing. We're a little bit ahead of the curve until it started acting up on us,
Well-
but the guys have been putting it through some abuse, trying to get these things thawed out.
But we wouldn't have had it, the houses that you defrosted already thought I would be still frozen for over a week now.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it's
There's
great that we
really-
have it.
There's really not a good fix, you know. Years ago, we used to use welders, which you still can, but welders make me nervous, start house fires, and also with sensitive electronics nowadays.
Yeah.
You could be spending a lot of
Well,
money
just on the
replacing people's
Binghamton
stuff.
News this weekend and through the winter, there've been a number of, largely trailers, but any number of house fires that have taken their toll with people trying to thaw their house,
Right.
thaw their pipes out under the floor.
So, being it's prior to budget time, I'll probably be investigating the price of a little bit better unit and talking to Jody about that.
Roger, folks do have trouble with their pipes freezing up.
Mhm.
Their best bet is to call the water department, and even if nobody's there, because your guys are out working,
Yeah.
leave a message on the answering
Yep,
machine.
because I hate to say it, and I don't mean it this way, but we put you on the list, and as soon as,
Exactly.
you know, that way we'll know you're on the list, and we'll
Does
keep-
anybody get back to people so that, I gotta talk to you or one of the crews, so that if I call and I leave a message, I mean, 99% of the time messages get through, but just, if you don't hear back, you don't know if your message is just sitting there unlistened to, or,
Mhm.
and it would help me know, geez, we'll hopefully get there late tomorrow versus we're not gonna get to you for a week, and we got
Well-
15 people. Just something, so if somebody has some idea of what to do or what to.
Yeah, the ones that come up through the weekend, they call my house.
Well, I don't mean the weekend necessarily, but.
Right, and then the ones that say if I don't get the message at the shop, you know, water is pretty important stuff, they usually end up calling the office, and then the girls know what to tell, you know, so. And the mayor did put on the radio to leave your faucet trickling a little bit, and it, you know, we're still not out of this, so.
Right.
I mean, I don't wanna waste the water, but you also don't want frozen pipes either.
Yeah.
And the only other sales pitch I have would be that truck that we were discussing.
Right. I think everybody knows about the truck. We had talked about it before.
What do you need, motion?
Motion.
Motion.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried.
What exactly was that motion for?
To
So,
move-
1 ton,
Purchasing a one-ton truck for the DPW.
yep, with a plow.
With a plow.
Yep. And that's basically it for me unless somebody's.
How are we doing on salt this year? We're still okay on that?
Yep, we're actually, I mean, there's another thing, I don't know how we looked ahead, but, thank God we ordered more salt this year than normal. I don't know why, but,
Because you used a lot
I was gonna
last
say,
year.
cause you're good at your job, Roger.
I don't know,
Yeah.
I just got lucky for once.
Well, you mentioned, you said it last year.
But right now, we're running, we have quite a supply in the salt shed, and we have availability of another 100-ton.
Great.
And I'm probably gonna order 50-ton tomorrow, which will bring us down to availability of 50 more ton at the locked-in budget price. So
That's good.
if the weather would cooperate, we'd hit it just right. So,
Somewhat better off than other.
Tell the crew, the board, said they're doing an
Yeah,
excellent
thank
job.
you.
and
and the
we're all-
guys
we
have
all
been
thank
working
them.
late hours, a lot of overtime going
Yeah.
through this deal, and
Oh.
the guys are getting pretty tired there toward the end of the week last week, so.
Where are you getting the parts for the pump?
Well, we brought some in, and Butch has been calling around. Tomorrow we gotta go to Oneonta and try to pick up a couple pieces,
Fastenal?
possibly.
I'm just checking.
Would you like to go get them? I'm just hoping that
If needed, I will.
if we can get that one going, it'd be, you know, what a savings, Grace, but no promises
How many
on
houses
that.
are on your list now to be done?
Something I have it out with, I think it was 6
6?
or 7. I don't remember now. I don't even wanna remember, to
Well,
be honest with you. We haven't, we haven't jotted down as 6 or 7. But if we had 2 towers, it'd be so much better. I mean, some of these.
Hopefully, maybe tomorrow you might be able.
Possibly, I don't wanna guarantee
Yeah,
anything,
right.
but if we can get the engineering department and the fabrication department work together, they're probably.
You do have repeated freeze-ups?
Typically, no, this is the worst I've ever
I
seen
mean,
it.
at a house where you actually went and unthawed it out, has it
There's-
froze again?
There's a couple places last year, one place that did freeze last year that froze this year. And that service at that place is 5.5 foot deep.
I mean, like this year, have you been somewhere?
This year, we've been to one place
thawed
twice.
someplace and had it refreeze?
Yes, we've been to one place twice this year.
Then people should be aware to let their water run.
Right. I've asked them to turn the water on, but somehow, see, people forget, you know.
You know, they get one day where it might be actually 38 or 40 degrees, and they all shut it off, they think it's okay, and then they forget that the next, it goes
That
right back
frost
again.
is so deep,
Yeah.
Yeah, you have to leave it on for a while.
And the frost is deep.
it's
Okay.
not going anywhere.
Thank you, Raj.
All right, we're all set.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bill?
Hey, Bill.
Hopefully everybody got a copy of our spiel for tonight.
Yes, thank you.
Just one ask for tonight, but it's a big one. The,
You think?
I would
it's
say.
a big one.
Spending too much time with Roger.
Yeah. Touching base on the biogas project or the digester project. We're kind of getting started with the design and the funding applications, which are going to be due in it's either the end of April or beginning of May. I forget the exact date. The project is proceeding. The village is going to start incurring costs associated with the project, with the planning and upfront costs. So we are asking that the village move forward with issuing a bond resolution for the project, which allows you as the village to incur debt associated with this capital project. And to reiterate, which we've stated, multiple times, the cost of the project is gonna be offset by the new revenues that are gonna be coming to the village by means of the industries disposing waste at the new digester that'll be constructed. So that is, an important part of this is, we don't anticipate any rate increases to the users here in the village. We're gonna have disposal fees, sale of gas through CNG, use of gas at the site with generators to reduce what we have to buy from the grid, as well as sale of gas to hopefully Craft and or the school by pipelines that are looking to go in. So the whole concept is to take waste that is currently going other places, build a facility at the wastewater treatment plant that'll convert that waste to methane. We process the methane and can use it in generators and pipe it to nearby facilities so they can use it in boilers, and we would sell it by doing that. So the big item here is the bond resolution, which is the last 4 or 5 pages of this attachment. That was prepared by Walsh and Walsh, Joan Blykamp, who's the village's bond counsel, has been for some time. This is a resolution that we would ask that the board pass. Again, it authorizes the expenditure of funds against this project, which will be, you'll issue a bond to pay for it. So there's, the construction cost, we'll take out bond anticipation notes to pay for the construction costs and the planning costs. Those bands will be rolled into a long-term bond, a mortgage payment, so to speak. We're, estimating a 25-year payment, at, the current market interest rate. That annual payment and any O&M costs will be offset by the revenue coming in. And we're also projecting a surplus of revenue, which the village can utilize, both in the sewer district as well as in the general fund. So that's kind of and I'll get to the number. The total project cost is estimated to be $8.5 million. That's comprised of 2 components. The first is the digester itself and the buildings, and I can show you pictures if you'd like. The facilities that'll go at the wastewater plant, that's about $6.9 million. The second part is transmission lines, pipelines that would go from the wastewater plant, one towards the school or to the school, and a second one to Craft, to allow us to sell the gas that we would produce to those facilities for their use in heating and operation of their facilities at a cost savings to them, but still a revenue stream to the village, is the concept there. That portion.
What's it do to the taxpayer in the village?
It's
a plus.
It should help, yeah. Like I said, there's no, the sewer rates won't be going up as a result of this project. Everything, the bond payment that the village will incur will be offset by the revenue that we'll be taking in from the industries for disposing their waste here in Walton. And it's basically byproducts of the manufacturing process at some of these area facilities. Stuff that currently they're trucking to, as far away as Utica and Ithaca at substantial cost. We can take it, with this new digester, convert it to methane gas, process it, and, utilize it.
And primarily, we're talking dairy products, dairy waste.
Yeah, I mean, the Craft facility here is probably over half of the waste that will go to the digester. We're projecting to come from Craft. They're very in favor of this project. I know the mayor and the sewer committee have met with Craft on several occasions, scoping this out. We've discussed with Craft and that, so what they're bringing is a part of the design for this facility. So, and Kraft is obviously a dairy facility. You know, the big component they would be bringing is whey, which is a byproduct of them making their cottage cheese.
Yeah,
and
we've
whatnot.
met with Tim Reagan, who's the plant manager from Kraft,
Several times.
several times, and each time the meetings got better and better. He's very upbeat about it. If we want to have the school in it, but if we didn't have the school, he would take everything we got. He'd change all his motors in the whole plant, run them off in gas. That's how much they're on board with us, so it's a really good thing.
Walton and Delaware County have always been very strong with dairy farming.
Oh, good.
Anything that we can do to help
Without a doubt.
keep that industry going, jobs for young people
Yeah,
and
it's,
farmers.
it's, you know, it's good for the village, obviously. You know, we wouldn't be talking to you guys. It's good for the industries in the area. It helps them out. It's good for, you know, all of us. So, we're looking as a win-win. You know, it is a multi-million-dollar construction project. We're not, you know, saying it's not by any means, but, you know, it's gonna be self-supporting.
It's an
Well, and
investment.
it's not the first time this has been said, but the more craft-friendly this village can be, the more likely it's gonna be
Right.
here for the,
Right.
you know.
And other, you know, Kraft is definitely the biggest contributor to this project, I would say, but, you know, there's other local industries that it's gonna benefit as well, so, you know, it's
And it'll
helpful.
make us attractive as businesses wanting to come into Walton too, because they know we're gonna have that, so the other
Right.
companies that may wanna come in and build with us. We've already had some interest in that already, so it's good.
I'll make a motion, we approve the bond resolution for the biogas project.
I'll second the motion.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Yeah, aye. We have two things, right? That's all right.
I think that's the only, the bond resolution starts basically a 2-month process. There's a series of notices that go in the paper. The first is a permissive referendum. That's in place for so many days, 23 or 25. And then there's a stopple notice that gets published subsequent to that. And it's basically a 2-month process. At the end of that, the village can go to the bank and borrow funds against the project.
And just so that people know that we're also planning for applying for grant money. We're hoping to get $1.5 million, if not more, maybe up to $2 million. That will help pay for the pipeline.
Right,
that we're doing.
that's a good point. The total project is $8.5 million. You know, we're looking at 1.5 or 1.6 coming off the top of that through grants. So the long-term debt would be the 6.9 million, not the 8.5.
But it's good to get the whole amount, just in case we have it.
Right.
This way we don't run short.
With the grants, they're usually, the village fronts the money for it, and then you get reimbursed after you show that you've made the investment, that, you know, that's applicable funds and whatnot. So you have to front the money, you have to have the money in hand to pay the contractor, and once you pay the contractor, you know, for building the pipe or whatever it may be, and you can show a canceled check, so to speak, you show that to the funding agencies, and then you get reimbursed.
The resolution says that we need to do a roll call vote.
Y'all voted yes, so I got it.
Okay. Anything else, Bill?
Thank you.
Any other questions for Bill? Thank you, Bill. Appreciate it. Okay. Item number 3, public input. If anyone would like to say something, please raise your hand, and I know, okay.
Sam Schwartz, Walton, one of my down, most of you know. I didn't want to do it, but I'm gonna, got a problem on your snow removal. I've had calls back in, I think it was 2010, we got into this mess. And it seems I came over this afternoon, Joey helped me looking up. You were supposed to, and it's written in July, this is a article from Glenn Graves, must be out of the Reporter. I clipped with stuff that I used, and I gave copies to the board at that time. different changes I would make in it. We find that right now, you don't have a section D in your code book. It's not there. And that gives a person a right to plead not guilty or guilty to a charge of removal of no snow. And that has to be there because a person is innocent until proven guilty. At least it was when I was judged for 35 years. So I don't know what's happened to it.
See, was it there and it's gone, or is it?
Well, Jody, it's gone, isn't it?
We looked in Steve's book and it's not there. We've got A, B, and C, but there's no D.
But aren't we, like, we just have copies, isn't there like some grand code space somewhere in Albany or someplace that has like the, you know, the original document that we could, you know
Well,
what I mean?
he came in at 4:27
Yeah, okay.
tonight,
Say it
so
might
I
be
haven't had
retrievable,
too
yeah.
much time to look into it yet,
So we
so.
went through a couple of years where, I mean, chaos in the office, so to speak, so maybe
Yeah,
it just,
I can imagine.
yeah.
It wasn't.
So it would be up there, they would have a copy of our original submittal. So we'll call Albany and we'll try and get a copy of that.
It says in Craig's article, it says, however, as of past Monday, the law has not yet been returned, which you must have sent it to your lawyer. Not been returned to the village, so it's not your fault, I don't know how far back this happened,
Okay, all right, we will look into it.
but I think you're wide open to have
Okay.
a problem.
You're absolutely
You know
right.
that as a
Yep.
police officer, that person's innocent until he's proven guilty.
Absolutely, you got a
And
point.
then you're dealing like a snow removal, it's like a dog case. A dog breaks loose and runs at large, you gotta go through a court of law. You can prove guilty or innocent in a court. I had that idea in here.
Okay,
I don't know where it is. D is not there anymore.
okay, Jody, we'll look at that tomorrow during the day and find out, get a copy of it,
Okay,
okay?
good. I
Yep.
don't know what else has changed in it. The other articles are exactly the way it's in the book.
And Sam, you need a copy when we find out?
I'd like to have one,
Sure.
see what it looks like.
Okay, not a problem.
Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you. Would you like, you gonna wait until the
Yeah,
committee thing to say?
Yeah.
I thought they were all individually gonna
Yeah.
talk and, oh, okay, you wanna wait until it's
Just, yeah,
trustee
I was
time?
gonna do it, yeah.
Okay, we can wait. Anyone else care to say anything? Okay. Okay. Trustee reports. Well, Teresa, we'll start with you.
The only thing I have to report is for the Public Safety Committee tomorrow, the chief will be ordering a new squad car for the village. And it will take about 3 months before it's here, so by the end of May or beginning of June, we should have our new police car. And that's all I have.
Okay, Charlie, it's yours, take it
Yeah,
away.
okay. I have a couple things for the theater. First of all, the Walton Theater Preservation Association has kind of a twofold mission, if you will. One of those is providing a venue for the arts in Delaware County. And I've asked some of the members to come forward and kind of give the board a quick summary of what they're doing for the theater, the movies, of course, the theater on the Delaware, and the
Music on the
Music on the
Delaware?
Delaware.
Music on the
Delaware, thank you. Delaware River Theater Company. So if you guys could give us just kind of a quick rundown.
Thank you. I just broke my glasses.
Got excited there, huh?
It's right down the middle. Do you want to start, Jim? Maybe do ours.
Well, just a summary of what Music on the Delaware. I mean, I'm involved with both the Theater Restoration Committee and Music on the Delaware. And as many of you know, we've been bringing performances in here for, I guess it's our 16th year. And basically the way it works is we bring money in and the money goes out. I mean, I had somebody ask me one time, what do you do with the profits? And that's a good question, I don't know. But I mean, you know, by the time you hire the performers and you pay insurance and you reimburse for the cost, the loss of revenue for movies and lighting and advertising and the whole thing, it comes to about $30,000 a year. Ticket sales, we bring in about $10,000. Now, that's a pretty typical ratio for performing arts things. I've checked with people. So we have to make up for it with donations, advertisements in the programs, sponsorships, and usually each year we have some sort of a grant for, you know, very specific things. And the coffee house is sort of the same way. I mean, we pay the performers a flat fee, and we just accept donations. We don't even charge for tickets for that. And so that comes in, you know, we spend about $1,700-1,800 and bring in about 1,000 in donations. But we feel that highlights local performers and brings people in from all around the area, actually. So that's basically what we do. I mean, that's no salaries. That's you know, all of our money goes right back into to the performances, and it has worked. And you know, that includes also costs. We take the performers whenever possible into the schools and do workshops, and we usually, that's where we usually try and get some grants to help support us. But we also have businesses who support us specifically for that. So.
On behalf of the board, Jim, I'd like to say thanks again for the tickets for the last concert.
Oh.
It was very nice, I enjoyed it,
Yes.
and thank you very much.
Well, we wanted to
That
give
was
us a
nice.
chance to make sure that you guys know what's going
Yeah,
on.
thank you.
On the other side of that door.
And I'm Paula O'Brien, and I represent Delaware River Stage Company, and I'm also a member of the Preservation Association. And we do our shows, we try to do live performances. We've traditionally done one show a year that takes a whole weekend away from RSS and their movie sales. Our Christmas show has been going on for, I believe, it's getting close to 20 years. It's one way or the other. You know, we've been doing it a long time. And we do make a profit on it, and all of our profits, after the cost of the show, after the cost of the building and the electricity and all of that, any kind of costuming or whatever we may need to put money out for, all the other proceeds go to the WTPA. And we've never done anything else. That money is generally given to the WTPA after the show. There have been times, which like right now, we hold it and then we go for, the WTPA goes for a grant and you need matching funds, and then the Delaware River Stage Company matches the grant. And that's been in the area of $3,000 to $5,000 a year that we've been able to donate to the WTPA, which then it goes into the modifications that we've done on stage and within the building, between different curtains that we've had to buy, lighting and things like that, and soundboards and things like that have needed help or extra things. That's where that money goes. Whenever something new needs to be done, that's where the money comes from in general. What I'd like to say is how important it is that each of these groups works together, including the village. It's a very delicate balance. We talk about it being like a juggling act, with everybody, the village owning the building and RSS having a lease on the business and them allowing us to do our thing and Music on the Delaware do their thing, that it's become this wonderful building that everybody is familiar with. And that was obvious when we needed help with the projector, and the village came out and really stepped up when that happened. And it's a really neat thing that's going on that none of us really figured out why it works, but it does. And so thank you for letting us, and if you have any questions about what we do, please just ask.
It's been very, I'm sorry, it's been very interesting when we will get, Music on the Delaware will get a call for tickets. Just last week, I got somebody, and I saw the address was Queens, and I thought, how do they know we're even here? And well, it turns out they have a house in Roscoe. And she got on the phone with me, and she said, I'm so excited to find out about this. She said, we often don't know what to do on weekends.
That's great.
Movies, and I met somebody at the last coffee house, who had just moved into the area, and she said, I can't believe this. She said, I've been to the classic movies, I've been to the regular movies, I went to the last concert, and here I am at the coffee house. She said, this is so exciting, I can't wait to tell people. So that's the kind of thing that's going on. Certainly not, as Paula said, that's not what our plan was.
No.
I mean, we never thought about that, but what it's doing is bringing people in. And when we get a concert that is a bigger name, and people are coming from out of the area, we always send them an email and say, let us know if you want the name of restaurants or a place to stay. And a good half of them usually do. And if you talk to the restaurants, you'll find out, they know, I mean, they're swamped on concert nights. So, in a sense, we're bringing business into the community, although that was never our intent. I mean, that was, so.
And I don't know which one of you said you're not sure how it works, but it works. I'm involved a little with Music on the Delaware. Nobody's on an ego trip. Everybody's talk about a project where multiple agencies and people are in it for the right reason, and nobody's on an ego trip, and it's just this harmony that's developed over the years. Sure, there've been some bumps in the road, duh, but it works to the point of clicking at this point.
I'm Jane Francisco, and I'm Program Director for Rehab Support Services, the programs that are operated in Delaware County. And we are the most unique affirmative business currently in operation, in that the village, the municipality owns the building. We work collaboratively with so many other entities. And one of our big issues right now is we have expanded to the point where we have so much programming going on. We're having a little growing pains, I think you'd call it. We have coffee house on the
Don't
third.
undo what I just said.
Sorry. That's some growing pains.
So much for harmony.
No, in terms of how to manage, no. Because we have, the classic flicks on the third Thursday and coffee house on the third Sunday. We like the third for some reason. But yeah, one of the things is, the live shows are really expanding, and they're becoming a real community base. And again, thanks to everyone too, when, we needed digital equipment, or we were going to basically lose all our movie contracts. Because one of the things we have to do is we have to actually have an agent and a booker to negotiate with all the film companies to actually book the movies. And when they all decided to go digital, we were going to literally be out of business. So that's when, we all got together and the community rallied, and it was humbling to see what transpired in our community to support the theater. And I think it's still going, and that's, I think, part of the reason we have Coffee House and the classic flicks now on Thursdays and things. So again, thank you for the support that we've gotten as an agency to be able to offer an affirmative business to the people that, we serve. But then in turn, it kind of serves the community. So it's been a great collaboration, and there are a lot of players, but over the years, we've all managed to make it all work, and it's gone very well, so.
I think the next classic film is the John Wayne movie.
John
She
Wayne,
Wore a Yellow Ribbon.
She Wore a Yellow Ribbon.
And that's on the
That's
third
fun.
Thursday of
Yes.
this month?
Yes.
So,
Yeah, 2 weeks.
2 weeks to go.
Well, I think, I won't take up any more of your time, but a couple of years ago, we had Cherish the Ladies, which is a nationally known Celtic group, and we couldn't believe we got them. About a month ago, I got a call from Joni Madden, who's the leader of that group, and she said, Jim, she said, we just had a cancellation on our beginning of our 30th anniversary tour, and with a big name vocalist with them. And she said, would you be interested? And I said, well, yeah, but at this time of year, we don't have money floating around, so we figured it out. But, I mean, I think that's an indication of how the word has gotten out even to performers. They're calling us because they love performing at the Walton Theater. I mean, that's the bottom line. And for those of you who've been to it, I doubt that you've been to a concert where you haven't heard them say how wonderful the acoustics are and how wonderful just the whole environment is. So you should be proud of that. I mean, and the number of people who say, boy, I wish our town still had a theater.
I find it amazing how we all got together and turned a disaster into a winner, meaning the flood in 2006.
Yeah. Oh,
I
yeah.
mean, everything was wiped out over there, and we all just got together and built it back, got new seats, new floor, and new stage, and here we are, 9 years later, still talking about how good it's running, and that's great, and you guys are doing a terrific job.
Well, when guys are
It's just gonna get
fixing
better.
the furnace, I mean, that's.
Yeah, well.
And thank you so much, yes.
What's neat is and it's Mr. Riska's making it sound like a love fest over there. Well, when the Music on the I mean, unless you're part of it, you don't know, but when a group comes in for a Music on the Delaware concert, the people on the board are profoundly appreciative of the artists that are willing to come in and put on a show for us. And just because of the way they're received and dealt with and handled and treated, the artist to a person, whether it's a single performer or a group, are profoundly appreciative of the way they were dealt with, to the point where some big name groups are calling saying, can you fit us in? It's unbelievable. It really is. Walton, New York.
So Jim, have you scheduled Cherish the Ladies? I mean, get your plug in
Yes.
here. When will they be?
They're coming March 28th.
Okay.
which is 1 week after another concert, which is a little tight, but I mean, that's just a real coup. I mean, that's.
And they brought the house down.
If you watch
last night.
PBS, you've seen them, their shows featured during pledge drives.
Right.
We won't do a pledge drive, but they are phenomenal.
I wanted to have the folks talk about some of the activities we have as kind of a preamble to a couple items I have. When the village developed their lease with RSS for the theater side of the building, for whatever reason, there was a room left out. It went very specifically on all the different rooms on that site except for the museum room. And I'm not sure if that's because at the time it was still being used as a courtroom, or if at the time it had been taken over by the Historical Society before they went to the Eels House. But what we'd like to do, and I will make this as a motion, RSS has offered to amend the contract, the lease with us, to include the museum room in exchange for an additional $25 a month rent to the village. This will be an amendment to the existing contract that will be up for renewal this summer. Yeah. So,
Are you, Jane, are you using the room now, or what's the current arrangement?
Well, everyone kind of uses the room, but RSS provides, the janitorial services and things for the room, and then, whoever just uses the room. It's even currently under a lease for a yoga class. That's through the village. Yeah.
Is she still doing that?
As far as I know.
And the room has been used by you guys
Yeah.
for a
And
long
that's how
time.
it
It's not
became
something
known
new.
as
You've
the
been doing this
museum
for a
room.
while now,
Yeah.
using the room.
Right.
Yeah.
Are there any issues with the way you're using it now, or is?
No, we'd like to use it more. There's currently a grant for arts in the
Yeah,
parlor
okay.
coming up.
But there's no restrictions, you don't find any restrictions so far? Have you been any restrictions on the room, anything that would, we had the conversation, Charlie and I did, and I was saying, why are you bringing it up now? Why don't we wait until July when we do the whole contract? Is there a
The
reason?
current contract is
is-
really this patchwork of stuff that doesn't apply, shouldn't be in there,
Well,
ought
there's-
to be, but
It's
isn't.
from 1996, yeah.
Yeah, and it shows.
Honestly, we probably need to really look at the whole lease but we were more concerned with just kind of getting a concrete on, the responsibilities for the room. And RSS would be willing to take those responsibilities with this amendment. And
the
also-
advantage of that would be that, because you are responsible for everything else on that side,
Right.
except for that one room, people coming in to use the room, this would give you the opportunity to deconflict with the activities early on instead of, if they want to use the room.
Because as it is now, like, for instance, arts in the parlor would have need to come through the village, not necessarily through RSS.
I'm missing something. Can you explain that? I missed that. That's my fault, not yours, but I'm not sure what doesn't exist now and what would be made
There's
easier.
currently, one of the ideas that we have is to expand into having shows, like have a gallery.
Okay.
And have shows, and we would need to obviously schedule those and monitor that and provide whatever the entity would need in terms of setup and tear down and clean up, and right now that would currently go through the village.
It would be our responsibility.
Yeah, it's not
Okay.
included in our lease, and
Okay.
that's what we're saying. If we had the amendment to the lease, then we would take on those responsibilities.
And Jane, did you say when you planned on starting that, the art show?
It's currently in the works.
She's
May.
applied for a grant.
Yeah, I think they're aiming for May.
I want to say May, please, I'm not sure.
Okay.
They've gotten a grant,
Yes.
not for as much as they wanted, but, and they have put out a call for artists.
Okay.
So they're aiming for May.
Okay. The reason I'm asking is because, like Ed referred to, we're thinking that we would like to do this all at one time, the whole contract, rather than sticking the amendment onto something that's really not.
Procedurally, it's nothing wrong with the concept that you're looking to do, or I think if anything, we're in favor of it. It's a matter of timing and trying to just,
Sure.
the efficiency of effort, I suppose.
I
Yeah, 'cause
think
I'm
we
sure
all
there's other
agree.
things within the lease, when the lease began, the screen was actually the fixed screen, and it's actually in the lease that the village owns that, which is no longer even there. So there's probably
Yeah,
some editing.
I get,
we would need
we
to
sent
do.
we sent the contract to everybody to take a look at,
Yeah.
and I'm at fault too, because I haven't really looked at it that much, and when I started reading it, I was saying like, wow, there's a whole bunch of stuff. Even that section 35 referred to some billing that back in 2011, 2012, and I said, wait a minute, it's like 3 years ago, it's not even, shouldn't even be there, and so, and
Well,
when,
it's
when
a-
changes were made, they were just Xed out, and they added a new number on the line, so they're not in sequential order anymore, so I mean, it's not a lot, but it's just, things should be done, put it in the right way.
It's sort of a testament to.
I myself really respect everything that you're doing, and I admire you for your tenacity and so forth. But I would definitely like to see this rewritten. This is,
Well, it's a testament to what you're saying earlier about how, it's not a matter of how well they get along, but how well you work together and with the village, that you can have a lease that's that antiquated to the point of being almost silly in places, and it still works. The arrangement still works.
I think it's a
Is there
good
date
idea.
missing?
Probably,
well,
probably.
you know, the other thing is too, I mean, to put it, lay it out on the table is for everybody within this taxpayer, you know, this belongs to the taxpayers, not to us, but we're the ones that are trying to direct what they care for too.
Right.
So, you know, it's give and take.
The advantage I see of doing the amendment now is that the village gets additional income, and we're relieved of the responsibility of having to clean it. We'll still rewrite the contract in July, but we'll be getting $25 a month between now and then. We'll be relieved of the responsibility. If we don't go forward with this, then we'll still have the responsibility, and I guess we can send our cleaning people over to do the room. We'll still live with the same contract it is until, at least until it's renegotiated this summer. So I'll move that.
Let me ask you, before you go any
Okay.
further, there's a little bit on questioning on both sides.
Okay.
And like anything else you do, you negotiate. I'm saying, what if we wait till next month? And I think we could have the whole contract redone, rewritten, and we approve it all next month. Would that be okay? I mean, everything.
Yeah, it would be fine with me. It's
It's
just
not gonna be a
like
problem with the room.
efficiency.
We're gonna do it. It's
Okay.
not an issue about doing the room.
And you've
It's-
got the contract, I mean, there may be some point where we'd be looking for your input, any three of it, or the people.
Because we need to,
Yeah,
I
I
was
just
thinking
think
that we
a
can
month
get
is a
it,
little
Jody can get it,
ambitious, but
we'll,
we can
we'll,
try.
we'll talk to you about all the things that need to be,
sure.
what you think needs to be changed, what we think needs to be changed. We'll give it to Dave, our Merzick, our lawyer. We'll have him put it together, have his, and then we'll have it all done, we'll get it all done ahead of time and get it just knocked out.
But
Would that be agreeable? Or that's not good enough?
It's fine by me.
I don't know. I mean-
Fine by me, I'm
Fine by
thinking,
me.
and just so I'm making myself clear, I think if we get input from the folks that are making you know, the other side of the contract, if they look it over, so that if we're gonna try and somewhat fast track the revisions or the updating, that we get their input, so that we're not, our perspective is different, and we might simply miss something that you said we.
Well, I'm just trying to do it so we don't have to add in twice two different things. We can-
Well, the lease is between
Right.
the village and RSS. It really wouldn't have anything to do with us.
Right.
Well, unless
We would just, as groups, work with RSS
Right.
if we wanted to use parts of the building as we always have.
Right,
So
absolutely.
then
Which we
Jane really
thought they
knows
had
you.
that building, or that room to begin with. That was just, it came up when we were trying to figure things out, when other groups wanna come in.
My concern is that we don't put something in the lease that to us, as board members, sounds good and legitimate and makes sense and it's appropriate, but sort of tampers with the unique relationship we have that's working so well, and had we heard from you, don't wanna get more tangled up than
But
I
Jane, if
already
you
am.
negotiate with a board member or whoever does this, you know the needs of the other
Yes,
groups.
yes.
So you can represent the other groups at that negotiation, okay.
But you have to
so-
understand, it goes beyond me, it goes to our administrative offices and
Right.
so for final
Right.
approval.
Yeah,
Now,
sure.
you'll have to let
That's
us
why
know
I'm
if
saying a
we've
month is a
created
little
problems you
ambitious.
didn't have
Okay.
before this started.
Well,
Or if we start now planning on July first, I don't know, it's.
see,
Whatever you wanna do.
I will disagree with that. I think that the village has an opportunity to make money right now. We can still do all the contract negotiations and renewing it, but we've got an agreement that's already gone through you.
Yeah, this is
And
from our
Albany, it's been
administrative office
approved.
with their approval.
So we
Yeah.
can start.
To be signed.
So I will make the motion, and if it's not seconded, it's not seconded. But I will move that we approve the amendment to the lease as presented, as approved already by, presented to us by RSS.
Is there a second? There is not a second.
The other thing I have then is at the January meeting, the board approved going forward with re-insulating the doors on the theater. And Mr. Gramsberry, the gentleman that we awarded the contract to do that work for us, has asked if we could advance him $1,500 so that he could purchase the required materials and go ahead and hopefully start working on it this month. So I would move that we authorize, the money's already been approved, but we authorize Jody to cut him a check for $1,500 towards the $2,700 previously approved.
Didn't we anticipate that? That sounds familiar, Charlie.
I think we did, yeah.
As long as he understands it's not gonna happen tomorrow.
Yeah.
We're just
Right.
authorizing you.
We ran into this last time. Remember, he had done a project for us, and he had wanted some money up front.
Oh, maybe that's what I'm thinking of.
Yeah, you're
This
thinking of the
sounds
other project.
familiar.
He had protected, the floor,
The heat.
Sidewalk or the
no,
tile?
he did the something
Oh,
in
the tiles.
in the front, in the lobby.
Yeah, he did the
right?
repointing the tiles and
Yeah.
the, under the stairs.
Yeah, and he had wanted money, and I said it was too late, because you can't do that until you have a board meeting, and meeting was over, and he wanted to get the money, and we just had a lot of issues with it. And then he came up and talked about it again for this project. I mentioned it to Charlie, so I said, fine, Normally, we're not used to doing that. Normally, when any contractors or anybody deals with a municipality, they usually take care of it, and then they come back after the job is done. So, but this is a unique situation. It's not a problem, but I just said you have to bring it up to us, because we have laws we have to follow. So Charlie made the motion.
I'll
Then you need a
second.
second?
I'll
I
second.
think Tink has a question.
Oh, I'm sorry, Tink, do you have a question?
I'll tell you what, I don't really agree with it until the frost is out. Because I don't know how you're gonna redo the door and so forth, and then when the frost goes out, you may have another problem. And I also read where the canvas over the door during construction, I don't agree with that either. I would rather see something more substantial, so nobody's just gonna come along and
I think the way he said it to me was, it's gonna be done in the theater, it'll be done the same day. It's not that it's gonna be left open or he's gonna go anywhere. He's gonna take the door off, he's gonna go inside the theater, work on it, when he gets done, and put it back on the same day.
I understand
And,
what you're saying.
and it's
that-
gonna be not right away, it's gonna be towards the end of the month, when it gets warmer.
But a lot of that stone below the door has come up because of the frost.
Right.
Okay,
And that is pushing on the door. And if you just do whatever, cut the bottom of the door off or whatever, when that frost goes out, you may have another problem.
Yeah.
But
With-
wouldn't we have
with it
that
settling.
problem next year when it freezes again, though?
You most likely will. But you're gonna have to, I would like to know how he's actually gonna do this.
okay, so we could okay it on the condition that, you talk to him, or Charlie, whoever, both of you talk to him together, and see what his plan is of reasoning, and even if it waits until the end of almost before the next meeting, and he wants to do it, at least we have the okay to give him the money if we feel we need to. It's just giving him the okay, we don't have to
Well, I
actually
understand we're giving him the okay, but
No,
we give him the okay and that he isn't gonna do the work until
No, I mean, we're given the okay to have the money if we decide, if you wanna go, or go along with what he wants to do, when he wants to do
Okay.
it.
There's gotta
That's
be
what I
a
meant
way-
to
I'll
say.
go along with that.
That's what I meant to
Buying
say.
the money for the materials.
Oh, no, I
Start date is
understand.
separate.
There's gotta be a way to account for it. This can't be the only situation where frost raises the floor up and down, where there's a door involved. There's gotta be some contractor way of accounting for the,
I don't know.
The flex.
I have no clue. Yeah, I understand what you're saying.
That's what I'm
Yeah.
saying. I wanna
I
know.
mean, as long as he does, otherwise, it'll be, you know, half the year it's not gonna fit, no matter whether, and even if, so if he waits till warmer weather, it won't fit in the winter. If he does it now, it won't fit in the summer. There's gotta be some way to account for that.
That's why I wanna find out what his idea is as to
Yeah.
fixing the doors instead of.
We can approve it and then hold off until he actually gets the check until you guys talk to him and sit down with him. How's that? Does that sound good?
Sounds good.
Okay. So we have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Okay, so it's,
You're gonna,
Back up.
we gave the okay to get the check for $1,500 for Dave.
Okay.
But before you physically hand it to him, Pink and Charlie will get together with him and see what his plan of operation is on regarding the frost and everything. Is that good?
That's good. I hope he has a valid.
Well, that's up to you guys. That's, you know. Okay, is that anything? All right, anything else, Charlie?
That's it.
Dave, you have anything?
No, well, just a Pride Committee continues to function. They spent their last meeting working primarily on a mission statement. They're getting tied in a bit with the Complete Streets program, which is a philosophy without any funding, which is an issue statewide apparently. And they continue to meet on the second and fourth Thursdays, 6:30 PM, right here, unless you hear otherwise on Facebook.
Is that it?
Yep.
Pink, anything for you?
No, usual. I respect the DPW for the work they're doing and for the time they're putting in and for the weather that's just giving them hell.
It's a regular love fest tonight.
It's cold, I mean,
They're very good. That's
Should we
all I
start
know.
singing?
the guys do freeze out there. I think it was last week, they were over at C&C Feed over on Howell Street, and I got out with my gloves and my jacket on for like 5 or 10 minutes, and I was freezing, and those guys were out there for a couple hours, so
I
it was,
sat in the truck
it's brutally
drinking
cold,
coffee.
I know. Yeah, you're smarter, even. Okay, Mayor's report, the only thing I wanted to say, I would just like to let the people in the community know, it's still very cold out there. Understand, I mean, you know that, but the point I'm making is, please let your water trickle a little bit so that we don't have more pipes that are freezing, or at least as many as we have to. Even though we do have them in the community, I wanna let you know that we're one of the luckiest communities in the county. There are places that the whole village is out of water. There are a lot of places that there are hundreds of people with frozen pipes. So we may have 8 or 9 or 10, but we're really doing very well. And I think that's a lot to a lot of the pipes that we've replaced and the new things that we've been doing over the last 6 or 7 years. So I think that's good. And Roger's idea of last year of bringing in the pipe door, no one else has it. Who knew back then how important that thing was gonna be? But Roger had the insight to do that, so I think kudos to him. He did it. That's, no one even knows what they are. Now they find out we got it. Now, next year, everybody's gonna have them, I'm sure. But at least for once, we're ahead of the curve on something, and that's great. And,
Ed, I have to go see him tomorrow.
yeah, I know you won't be able to talk to me, I know. And that's it for me. All right, the number 6, the election notice to be published.
I have to put another notice in the newspaper, letting everybody know the date and the time, where the election's gonna be, and who's running. And everybody's running unopposed this year, so.
And Jody, this year is just the mayor and trustee election, there's not any other?
And Paul Lauser, the justice, for the additional 2 years to finish that term. I just need a motion to put that in the
Need a
paper.
motion for that?
Motion.
Second? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
And it's March 18th, noon to 9 here at the Village
Correct.
Hall.
It's a Wednesday this year, not a Tuesday.
Day after St., because St. Patrick's Day on Tuesday. So If you go out,
They
go
don't
out.
want
and-
anybody making decisions on St. Patrick's
Okay,
Day.
you may not be in all of you, so if you go out and have a good time, just remember, don't sleep past 12. Okay, the next thing, 2014-15 budget modifications.
I sent, everybody budget modifications on Friday, if anybody's got questions. If not, I need to just adjust those line items.
A single motion will
It will.
do. I'll make a motion that we approve the budget modifications.
Second? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. I believe
That's all
that's
I
it.
had.
Do we have anything for executive session, Tom?
And were we going
But
to
you
talk
want-
about the contract?
Contract?
Mhm.
With the Teamsters, right?
Right.
Okay. I want to thank, everyone for coming, and Jane, just so you understand, we have no problem with the room or anything like that, you know what I mean? I just want to make sure that's very clear. We're just gonna get the whole, everything together at once.
Paula, don't tell them no. Save it for the meeting.
We need a motion to go into executive session.
So moved.
Jane,
All in favor?
fine
Aye.
print.
All right, thank you. Thank you.
Make up the fine print.
Thank you.
I've got one more.